Morning everybody, welcome back to the weekend. It's a cold one today. I've wrapped up a little bit warmer and I think I'll be visiting the porta cabin outside where the heater is a few times a day, a few cups of tea to thaw out my fingers. Anyway, I hope you're having a good week and looking forward to the weekend. I'm sure you are. Obviously not too far away from Christmas, so hope you're staying safe and looking forward to enjoying time with family and friends. So what are we up to today? I think more work on the stereo. I have got, what have I got to do? So we've got to finish off the sub box. I want to run some wires in. I have picked up some acoustic dampening. Bit of a story behind it, but we'll see how it goes. Hopefully we'll be able to use some of it. It's because it's a foam, acoustic foam that I've bought, and it's as it arrived, it comes compressed obviously because it's foam, but as I open it up, it hasn't really expanded in quite in the way I thought it would. It's some of it's sort of, there's 2 or 3 pieces that have come up to the right size, but the rest, some of the rest of it's still as thin as when it was in the packaging. So we'll see, we might be able to do something with it hopefully, but we'll look and see, we'll put that in. What we need to do now though is just continue to work out the sizing of the sub box. So I've got the paperwork, I've done some measurements. It's big enough that we do put it, either we're going to put a vent in it, or which I think we've discussed, or we'll seal it off. I'm going to try and put a vent in it. I'm going to go back and have a bit of a calculation now. Once I've gone through that, we'll look to put some more woodwork in there, and then after that I want to start thinking about the cables. We want to run that extra cable, the speaker cable for the front. I've got some cable possibly for the rears. It may not quite be enough. We'll see what's left over from the fronts. Hopefully there's some there. What am I missing? The rear speakers. Oh my gosh. So I've hunted around, I've been waiting, asking the company I bought them from. They've been trying. Alpine themselves seem to not have any stock, and they're struggling with stock. Obviously stuff coming out of China. I thought I might have been able to pick up some other 6x9s somewhere else, the components, but it seems like everyone's just been stripped bare of those. There's still possibly an option of going for the same speakers that I've got in the front door in the rear. So we'll have a look at that this week and hopefully, fingers crossed, get that sorted out. Right, so for now I'm just going to go away and have a little think, do a few calculations, see what I need to do, then we'll come back and we'll pop the subwoofer back out, pop the plate back out so we can put some of the acoustic foam in, and also work out how the woodwork's going to work, how we're going to port this thing, where we're going to port it. Yeah, because all that needs to be thought about before we start making a bigger mess. Anyway, we'll get into that now. Okay, hello. Right, so maths was a strong point when I was at school, not now. Excuse me. So what I've done is I just broke this up into sections to try and work out the area, and then you get a couple of rectangular boxes, possibly a triangle, and then well, it's not a slice off a circle because it's got all sorts of different angles on it, but you know, I may have done a little bit of guesswork on that part. So the box is too small. The area, the volume inside there is too small for it to be vented, and it's way too big at the moment for it to be a sealed. So for it to be sealed box, it should have been around about 14,000 square centimeters, but 36,000 or nearly 37,000 if it's vented. This box is at around about 32 square centimeters cubed. So options: do I make it smaller and just seal a box, which obviously can be done, but I kind of like the idea of the fact, you know, the speaker's going up and down, it's basically pushing air, so as it goes down it's still pushing air, and it's really got nowhere to go when it goes into a sealed box. So what I'm thinking of doing is using a section of this box over this side, which is actually bigger. I'm thinking of lifting all this up, putting a hole in the central part, and then using the port out the side there. So the port will then become part of the area of the box, and it will be pretty much close enough. I need to do a quick couple of measurements on that because I haven't measured this box yet, because this is somewhat a little bit bigger. So let me think, we were 7. Yeah, so this is a little bit long. This one's a little bit longer, so it'll be, yeah, good. Okay, so hopefully, fingers crossed, we're there. What I'll do is all this will have to come out, even all these cables that I've nicely threaded through, because I want to lift this out and just see if I can't section off that front bit and have a port out the side there. We'll just have to drill a hole in there as well and just port that right the way through. So it mean putting another piece of wood in here, because I don't want to use all of the volume of this space, it'll be too big. Obviously that I want to take that up anyway, because I'll put some of this this acoustic paneling in there. There's not much going on in there, but you know, I've got some, so I've got a little bit of it there, so we'll see how we get on with that. Right, I'm just going to go back into the nice warmer part and do a few more calculations. It is taking a little bit of time, but I want to get this right, and once we've got those calculations done, we should hopefully be able to. The good thing is I don't have to do too much more inside this box, just put a hole in, because I was a little bit concerned about, you know, this panel over the fuel filter. I was hoping, you know, the fact is someone may want to get in there one day, and you don't want to make it too difficult to get in there. So pulling this out, so just being able to pull out the subwoofer out of the top of the box will be quite handy. Right, go do this quick calculation, come back, we'll pull this out, hopefully put a piece of wood in there. We'll put the acoustic foam in. We've got to still run a couple of lines in for the cable, speaker cable to run the sub. We'll work out where we're going to put that through, somewhere here, and yeah, then we can start sealing this up once the sub's in there. The good thing is once all that's there, yeah, then we can hopefully look to see if we can put the top on, and then we can sort out the amps. That would be nice. See how we go. Not a lot of time today, but let's see, I want to work out the maths first. There's no point in rushing and just finishing it and then find it sounds like rubbish. So anyway, let's see how we go. Back in a sec. Okay, so as you can see, we've put a hole. I didn't go up there. There isn't enough room to put a hole through. It's with this being so low, there would just be no space. So I would have had to make something a bit weird. So we're gonna port it through here. As you can see, we've put the holes through. Put this in plate in to reduce the size of the box. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to seal up all of the edges. Seal it all the way around. So what we can do then is I can foam line this. We can put this lid back down, and once that lid's back down, that's effectively in. Then we could probably put a few little screws in just to hold it in place. Then we can mount the amplifiers where they need to go, and we can start running some cables. I might run all the cables first, just so I know where they need to be. I don't want to go mount the amplifiers and then find that there's a cable run that can't make it because there's no room, or I've done something a bit strange. So we'll try to lay things out. I want to put some holes in the sides here for getting the wires where they need to go. How they go into here, well, we'll see, because obviously the entry hole for the cable is normally up here, but I probably want it to be a little bit lower. I don't want to put another hole in the car, but again, we'll just see. This hole doesn't go anywhere. That's the metal. There's a metal plate in there, so I can't go that way. But if these end up being the same size as the fronts, then we'll probably put a wood panel over there, which means I should be able to run it up underneath the wood panel. But again, I'll probably find out a little bit later this week. So we're going to foam line. We're going to seal it, foam line this. I want to keep some foam because I want to stuff those with foam as well. The front doors, not quite sure. We'll have to think about that. Maybe get some of that stick-on matte stuff just to stop the doors from vibrating a bit. Yeah, then we can put in amplifiers. Sub can go in as well. Seal that up. Then we can look at putting the top on, and then working out what we're going to do in this part. And then at some point we'll worry about what happens to the sides here. Right, I'll be back in a minute. got a few bits and pieces done there. Now the question is, do I add a little bit more or do we end the video here? But we'll do a bit of a recap because there was a couple of things that may have happened off camera. Anyway, let's have a quick look and see where we're up to. Okay, so the sub's in. We've got that in, and just remember there's going to be another piece that sits over the top of this. We're looking at running the cables out for the speakers here on the side. I'm hoping that I have resolution on what those are going to be. We're not going to be 6x9s anymore, just can't get hold of them. They're too difficult. Well, at least the ones I want, the components. So we're going to be doing exactly the same as what's in the front. Now, I was going to go buy off another supplier because they had some in stock and probably could have had them by now, but the company I've been working with said that they had some and they were going to sort them out, or they're getting some. Well, still haven't heard. Anyway, so what we have is we're running the boot release cable. What I'll just need to do is just put a slot here. I'm going to run it down the back, put a clip in it, and then we're going to load the amps, and that'll probably be the end of it. What we do have to do is I'm going to take off the center console and run up the RCAs and just see what we've got in that head unit. Let's crack on. Okay, quick view, update, discussion. So we can see I've peeled back the wrap from the wires to get into the end of the rubber. So we've pushed a wire through, and with any luck we will see it appear through this side and we can get that cable through. As you would have seen here, again, we've drilled out this side of the plug that is not used. The pin's still on the bottom there, so again, if someone wanted to use this extra function, whatever this is, I still really don't know. I had some suggestions, but still not convinced yet that we've found the answer to it. But anyhow, what am I thinking? So yeah, we're going to get this through. Hopefully it's definitely come through. You just got to work out, sorry, where that piece of wire's come through here so we can get it out. I want it to come down through and through. Obviously, I think from memory from last time, I put this through and forgot to put it through this slot here. Forgot a few things, I think, last time, but hey, you learn, right? So hopefully if we can get that pulled through, we can then drag this wire back up through there and then into the back, and we should be all wired up and ready to go. And we'll get that plugged into there, get the tweeters hooked up, and remembering on the other panel, what I want to do is also get some of these covers for some of these holes, and still looking for this profile. I've had a look, I've seen a profile that's sort of more just off the top here. I'm thinking I may just buy some of that. It's not quite the same, but it may hopefully be, because it's going to do that sort of thing, right? It's going to squish. So if you had one like up there, I'm pretty sure, because it would kind of then sit like this, it would probably do a very similar thing. And it's got to be better than nothing. But we'll follow up with that one in a little bit. What we want to do is get the main parts done and get the hard work done first, and then we'll move on from there. Right, we'll go back on to time lapse as we pull the rest of the cable through. Righto, so that wire's in. You won't see it in there, it's a little bit dark. I've put this down just temporarily, but what I will do is I'll pull this back up and the other side. And see, there's a couple of spots here that I want to just sand back and do a bit of rust treatment on, for example there, so before I completely forget about it and 5-10 years goes by and they're rusted holes. So we'll have a look at that in just a minute, but for now I just wanted to wind up this video and show you what we've been up to and where we're at, what's next. So we got the cable through, did manage to make a small mistake, but no biggie, got it back through. Bit of a struggle. I'm a little bit hoping that I haven't done any damage to anything in the process of all that, but anyway, we will finish off and trim these and put these in, but cables are in. This side was definitely a lot harder than the other side. Not sure why, but it's almost like, I think the amount of flex in the wires that come through and then go up, there's not enough to really sort of pull it out and hang it out, which I think on the other side I had a lot more to sort of pull out. And it's almost like as well there's not enough room with the edge of the door, the edge of the door here, how it comes in, when your door's wide open, and it's very hard to pull this out. You kind of, as you saw, you got to pull the door shut a bit to give yourself a bit more room, then you kind of trigger wiggle it down, and yeah, bit of fun. But there's always a bit of frustration in these jobs. Some people may go and take the door off to do this. Probably be a lot easier, but then you've got the trouble of actually putting the door back on and making sure it's straight. I've never done that before, so it's probably scarier to me than it actually is. So we are now going to button up this door, put that speaker back in, and yeah, that'll be it for this week's episode, guys. Thank you very, very much for watching. If you did enjoy watching this particular video, please hit the like button. And if you are enjoying this series on the Mini, please hit the subscribe so that you'll get notified of when new videos come out. Thanks very much for watching. See you in the next one. Bye for now.